At this point, they're probably looking for motive information.
Tonight on DC News Now, the man accused of killing a National Guard soldier pleads not guilty. What we're learning from court and the new images showing the moments leading up to the deadly shooting.
Clear and cold tonight, and we're still tracking the cold air tomorrow, but at least we're tracking the sunshine. All the latest details coming up.
The cold temps leaving some families piping mad in the district, living without heat and hot water for weeks.
When it gets cold, that's painful. To a senior, cold equals pain.
They say the apartment managers have not shared any details on when the problems will be fixed.
Merry and bright, the Capitol Christmas tree lighting, and when you can see the national tree lighting at the White House.
It's Giving Tuesday, how some volunteers are donating their time to make sure families in need are able to have a full and happy holiday.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Susan Tran. Disturbing new images showing the moments leading up to the ambush of 2 National Guard troops right near the White House. Prosecutors saying that these photos show the suspect waiting in the middle of the afternoon for the National Guard soldiers to approach, then open fire. The suspect circled in red here, finally making his first court appearance on murder charges today. Investigators saying that he shot the 2 in the head, killing Specialist Sarah Beckstrom and critically hurting Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf.
DC News Now's Ben Dennis live outside the courthouse where the defense argued the suspect be released while awaiting trial. Ben, the judge said no. What else have we learned?
Well, those were the details that we had on the ground outside of the courthouse earlier today. We provided live coverage. Tonight, though, we are outside the walls of GW Hospital. This is where the suspect in this case was originally sent. He remains in medical care. Tonight, I spoke with a longtime defense attorney who has handled hundreds of murder cases, clients of his own accused of something similar to this case right here. He says, according to the facts thus far, including it's laid out in black and white, he thinks this is a damning case.
The crime is one that we believe we will be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt.
Moments before tragedy in broad daylight, surveillance images show the 29-year-old suspect in last week's shooting of 2 National Guard members standing outside the Farragut West metro station, allegedly running around the corner, raising a gun and firing shots. Bullets killing West Virginia's Sarah Beckstrom and critically hurting Andrew Wolf.
We have lost Sarah. We continue to pray for Andrew Wolf. He is still in the hospital.
U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, after the suspect's attorney appeared in court, his client was hospitalized after being shot by a guardsman after he reportedly traveled to D.C. from Washington State before the crime. The suspect's public defender entering not guilty pleas for the charges, including first-degree murder.
I think the judge was very astute when she made it clear that she believed that he crossed the country with a weapon, with the intent to commit a crime of violence.
At this point, they're probably looking for motive information.
Longtime Virginia defense attorney Russ Stone on the evidence-gathering process right now known as discovery.
I've done hundreds of murder cases. They have to prove premeditation, they have to prove deliberateness, and they have to prove malice. When an individual actually takes the time to travel from, the other side of the country with a firearm to this location and then engages in the actions that he apparently engaged in, that probably is all you need to prove premeditation and willfulness.
U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro also told a gaggle of reporters today that the prosecution may bring forth additional charges as all of this evidence is gathered during the discovery process, possibly even federal charges and potentially terrorism related. Suspect is due back in court for a preliminary hearing January the 14th. In Northwest D.C., Ben Dennis, back to you.
All right, there are growing calls for the 2 soldiers to be awarded the Purple Heart.
Receiving one comes with many benefits, including prioritized health care from the VA, employment preferences, and even access to some special scholarships. And for those killed, it's full recognition of their sacrifice. A 3-time Purple Heart recipient is now pushing for both Beckstrom and Wolf to be given the honor.
We had a lot of Iraqi police and military forces that turned their rifles on us and Afghanis as well. It was a common practice, and I think that's what we saw here. We've seen a belligerent act against uniformed military personnel, which would, what I would believe is an act of terrorism.
The military decoration was first established back in 1782 as a badge of military merit by then General George Washington. In 1932, it became the Purple Heart.
We're going to continue to stay on top of the recovery of Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and the ongoing investigation into the attack. We'll be sure to bring you the updates on air and online at dcnewsnow.com.
Let's get a first check on the forecast. The chief meteorologist, Jackie Laird. Jackie, some of us woke up with snow this morning. We're all going to bed with cold, windy conditions out there.
Exactly. Feeling like winter out there, although any of that winter precipitation has since moved its way out. I mean, some areas did see it closer towards D.C. Mainly that cold rain through the day today. That system now well over towards New England at this point, at least southern New England. And then eventually that low will kick out to sea. But here locally, we're tracking those drier conditions out there after that precipitation earlier in the day today. And temperatures are dropping. We're into those mid upper 30s to the north, right around upper 30s to lower 40s as you head farther southward. However, a bit of a breeze and that wind kicking up mainly out of the north and west between 10 even close to 25 mile per hour sustained winds. Noticing those winds picking up in Manassas and Winchester right now, and also some wind gusts. Those are right about 25 and close to 30 miles per hour. So that's enough to make it feel much colder than those actual air temperatures. So wind chills right now right around the freezing mark in D.C. Farther off towards the north and west, feeling like we're already into those low to mid 20s. And speaking of 20s, that's what we're going to be dealing with overnight tonight into tomorrow morning's commute for actual air temperature. So low to mid 20s to the north for those overnight lows, right around 30 in D.C. to kickstart tomorrow morning. Watch out for any slick spots as these temperatures are below the freezing mark. And again, as we look ahead towards tomorrow, still on the cool side, but at least we're tracking the sunshine. More details, look ahead towards the rest of that 7-day in just a few minutes.
All right, Jackie, we'll see you then. Developing now at 9. The frigid temps are a hot topic for some families in the district. They've been living without heat or hot water at their northwest apartment complex.
And neighbors say that management has not told them the source of the problem. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg joining us live there in Woodley Park. And Daniel, how bad are we talking here?
Well, Susan and Chris, here at Quebec House Apartments, neighbors here say that they have been without hot water and heat for 7 times during the last 8 weeks. While it is an inconvenience for some, others say there are health concerns. Since October 4th, people living at Quebec House Apartments have gone without hot water and heat on multiple occasions.
In the last 2 months, the hot water has been out for at least several hours in my building 4 times and the building across the street 3 times, including on Thanksgiving Day.
Tenant Association President Shannon Hayes says it's frustrating and disruptive.
There hasn't been any communication that anything is being done to fix whatever this underlying systemic problem is.
And seniors, including Joan Gardner, say it's not just inconvenient.
When it gets cold, that's painful. To a senior, cold equals pain. And so that's a very serious health issue.
She says communication from management is poor, and Hayes says emails have only gone out for about half of the outages after the Tenant Association reached out.
In this building on the 22nd, it was out for 16 hours. It went out before 8 a.m. We were notified about 10 minutes before 6 p.m.
In a statement, a Quebec House spokesperson said, quote, over the past several weeks, we experienced a few boiler outages, all of which were resolved the same day with the help of professional service providers. Going on to say, residents have been kept informed throughout, and we appreciate everyone's patience. The spokesperson says they believe all of the issues have been resolved and they will continue monitoring the system closely. Live in Northwest, Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
All new tonight, new video as a fire rages through a home in Fairfax, Virginia. This happened on Twin Brook Road last night. You can see the home just swallowed by flames. The house was undergoing renovations at the time. Fairfax County Fire saying the flames started with the construction material left in the back of that house. We're told the fire did more than $100,000 in damages.
New details in the fraud case against a Real Housewives of Potomac star, a judge allowing for Wendy Asofo and her husband to again be co-defendants at trial. They were arrested back in October, accused of staging a burglary at their home and making multiple fake insurance claims for 80 luxury items worth $200,000. But investigators say they later found the couple wearing some of the jewelry they reported stolen. Wendy originally asked to be tried separately from her husband, but this latest motion moves their case back together. Their next Court hearing is December 19th. New tonight, a frighteningly close call for a Maryland mother and her little boy. They narrowly avoid being hit by bullets that were fired into their kitchen.
Yeah, she tells DC News Now's Tim Reed this actually isn't the first time their Waldorf apartment building has been shot up.
Police in Charles County are looking for suspects who fired gunshots into an apartment in Waldorf. Tonight, I'm speaking to a resident who was home when the bullets flew into her apartment.
I just want justice. I just don't want them to hurt anyone else, because me and my kids, we could have died.
A Waldorf mother who did not want us to show her face says she's sick and tired of the violence where she lives at the Huntington Apartments. Sunday night at 8:15, police say someone fired multiple bullets into the family's apartment.
I am so mad because I was in the kitchen cooking and there were gunshots and they came through my kitchen. Okay, and I have a 5-year-old son and I had to grab him off the floor.
The mother and her son were not hurt. This isn't the first time shots were fired at this apartment complex. Police say back on August 6th, someone fired shots into 2 separate apartments. There were no injuries. As a result of both crimes, police have set up portable cameras trying to locate suspects in both cases and are stepping up patrols.
In this case and any other case that we've had in that area, we are asking people to call us if they have information. We have put out additional cameras out there. We're working each case independently of each other, trying to see if there's any connections.
Because of the shooting, this mother is planning to move out to find another place where she and her family can live.
Because I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to be here no more, and I'm tired of the violence.
Police are offering a $1,000 reward for information leading to an arrest in this case. In Waldorf, Maryland, Tim Reed, DC News Now.
How frightening, Tim. Thank you. Virginia's search and rescue team has a new Task Force 1 member. Take a look. Wrangler is newly certified to find survivors in disaster areas, along with his handler, Sally. Officials saying that the 4-year-old Australian cattle dog mix is now ready to serve communities in need. Police in Maryland are preparing for the holidays. Take a look, and Prince George's County officers sorting all of the gifts for their annual Toys for Tots drive. They got help this year from the Marines and the 155 student officers. The Santa's helpers, they will then be delivering the toys on December 20th.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go.
Turning on the holiday spirit, the Capitol Christmas tree now decorated with thousands of lights. This year's tree, nicknamed Silver Bell, traveling thousands of miles all the way from Nevada to the nation's capital. Good looking tree there. And a live look at the White House, the national Christmas tree lighting. That'll happen Thursday on the South Lawn. There will be several road closures that day all around the White House. This year's tree is a 35-foot red spruce from the Washington and Jefferson National Forest in Virginia.